All right. Hey guys. Thanks for stopping by. Wow, everyone's dropping off already. Still waiting on the computer, unfortunately, to come back by, so I'm still using this damn phone. Thankfully, it's usable for now. I would rather be over at the shrine where all the whiskeys are visible, but we do have a couple beauties we're going to try tonight. And, oh, yeah, in honor of Mom, I thought I would bring back out the jockey hat because it's going to be Preakness week this week. So, did it for the Derby, and we're going to have a little Preakness fun. Hopefully, hey, Drew or whoever's running the show there. I don't know if she is or not. We'll probably see her pop in if she's feeling better. Her allergies were killing her earlier. But yeah, we're going to have a little Preakness fun this Saturday, I think it is. And then there's the Belmont, the next deal after that, a couple of weeks, I think, in New York. So we're gonna have a little fun with. I think we're gonna start with the Glenfarclas 25 because the Bowmore 18 is peated. So yeah, from she gets a kick out of semi crazy hats and making me wear them by blackmail, I guess. I don't, anyway, but I did pour this like the dummies did. A lot earlier. I've been letting it sit out for about a half hour. Typically, my own personal rule is based on year, I'll give it a minute per year. So if it's, a younger whiskey, 10, 12, I'll give it 10, 12 minutes. And if it's something older, 18, 25, I'll give it a lot longer. Now, the Scotch for Dummies are correct. Sometimes you get a whiskey, even if it's 30 or 40 years, and you could give it an hour, and it's still not gonna really give you everything you needed. A good example of this recently that I had, and hey Richie Z, was the Glendronach peated portwood. A really nice gift from my friend Lee G. You probably see him frequent the channel. Hey Louise, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for the thumbs up, by the way. Um, and we he was really excited. He actually bought multiple bottles of the Glendronach peated portwood, thinking that this was going to be a surefire victory, and no problem. But uh, we both were kind of like perplexed by the end. The finish just wasn't there. It was kind of a letdown in a little bit. It did help leaving it out for 45 minutes. So it took 45 minutes for that dram to really open up and give us a little something more, but still it felt a little tight at the end with the finish. So that goes to show, you never know, and that's not even an age statement. I mean, that could have been there might be some 20, 30-year-old stuff in there, but if the youngest they throw in there is 3, they're not going to be able to slap an age statement on there. So anyway, let's go in for a sniff on the Glenfarclas 25. It's got a nice color to it. For 25, I'd be surprised if there's coloring. Let's take a quick look. I've got my trusty computer on the side here. A reason I don't use this for shows is because it's a surface. And if you notice on the last show with Scotch for Dummies, our friend Tony, all out of the middle of nowhere, his volume like blasted up like 10%, 20%. And this computer does the same thing as a Surface Book. I hate the damn thing. And I'm wondering if Tony's using a Surface Book. Let me know, Scotch for Dummies, if you know if he is using one of those Surface Books or not. If he is, I'm going to laugh because it's the same exact problem I get with this one sometimes when I was doing some reviews before. But anyway, let's see if this has any information on coloring. I don't think it's going to specifically say. I don't have the bottle, unfortunately. This was a sample from my good friend, uh, Generously Paul. So you will see Generously Paul come on from time to time, and we share samples together. I'm trying to see if I can maybe get him and Lee or maybe one or the other on for a live show sometime. And we had a really good time at the expo. So, all right, thanks everyone. I had a feeling it was natural because for a 25, it looks pretty damn good and natural to my eyes. Um, doesn't always mean everything. The Bowmore 18, on the other hand, we'll get into that in a second. I think that is highly colored for an 18. Even I think it's a bit dark for what it's supposed to be, but we'll get into that later. It holds its legs pretty well. It's got nice viscosity. In other words, it's probably going to be a good medium mouth coat. I'm assuming. it's sometimes it's hard to tell just from liquid, but you know you can kind of see it go in a circle around the glass and see if it lingers up there a while. And this one does, so that's a good sign. Oh wow. Hmm. This is better than I thought it was going to be on the nose. Wow, it's definitely, I would right away give it a complex scale as far as you know, right off the bat. Sometimes you might only get one or two notes, maybe three. I'm getting four or five. I mean, instantly, and it's well balanced. I'm definitely getting cedar was the first thing that came to my mind, like a nice cedar closet and some really nice red fruit. Um, Not dark fruit per se, but ruby red, like your strawberries, raspberries. I think probably coming in from a sherry. Looks like this is ex bourbon and ex sherry casks. That makes sense. We're looking at specifically American refill ex bourbon barrels and European first fill ex sherry casks. Wow. Yeah, typically price for this would be double or triple on a 25, but it's all about the palate sometimes too. You know, you could sniff something all day, but if when you go to sip it, if it's not there, oh, really nice. Some floral notes in there too. Some lavender. Hmm. Maybe some distant chocolate. Hmm. A little tobacco. Really nice. Hmm. Let me know if I'm getting similar things to what you guys got. I didn't. I watched the review that the Scotch for Dummies did, but I was doing something else at the time, and I wasn't able to really focus on what they were getting. There's some sort of like some nuts in there too. Vanilla, of course. Hmm. I think we're going to be in for a treat based off of the nose, but sometimes I have had a great nose, and then when you get to the palate, it's like a whole another ball game. So we're going to go neat. This is only, I think, let me see what the ABV. I think it's 43%. Yeah, 43%. And let's go from there. Hmm. Wow. Okay. It's funny because at first when I hit the palate, it was good taste, but I'm not sure why, but it was like dryness right from the get go. As soon as it hit my tongue, everything like all the saliva, water, or whatever, completely like just dissipated. But then it came back. That's a strange experience on the palate. Hmm. Definitely getting more oak on the palate right away, with some nice sweetness. It's got a little, I want to say some pepper. I'm trying to decide if it's white or black. Yeah, it's maybe a mixture. It's very nicely spiced. It's very, I think, a good sweetness balance with it, but it's a weird dryness, pow, and then the moment comes back, but and it gets some after, like the finish is kind of minty, like a mentholyptus kind of thing going on. Hmm. Maybe some caramel. This hat is hot. Let's get the old other one on. I'm not sure what it is about that hat, man. But it doesn't have any circulation. Hmm. Getting more tobacco and chocolate coming in on actually a long finish. It's a medium mouth coat, I'd say. This reminds me a lot of the Bowmore Cigar Malt Reserve. That's the if I'm going to compare this to something else, that's kind of what it reminds me a little of. Which one's better? I'd have to have them both together to get really give you an idea of what I think. But I think they're compared. Com, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Comparative, not comparative. You know, similar drams. Hmm. Oh, let me bring up the chat. Sometimes let's see if I can. Last time I was able to, while I was doing the video, I'm not sure if I can do it this time or not. Let's try it. Give it a try though, just to see if we get lucky or not. Because for some reason before, sometimes I was able to, and sometimes I wasn't. I don't know if it's gonna let me do this time or not. That's okay. It's not a big deal. It's just easier sometimes to see it in real live. Real live. Let's go to live streaming and see if it's there. No. All right. That's okay. It was worth a try. But getting back to this now, it's a strange dryness. That's the only thing that's putting me off. I'd say it's really hard to bitch about that. It's a nice flavor. 150 for the Glenfarclas 25. It's a nice taste. I mean, if you do like the chocolate, if you do like the cigar kind of tobacco qualities, if you like the nice rich fruit on the nose, the chocolate's there. It's kind of got that Rolo kind of taste. No water, man. No, no. I don't. It's 43%. I don't think this is gonna. I mean, I'll add a drop, but I mean, I honestly don't think it's gonna do a whole lot. But we'll give it some fair, factor. Get out the old trusty pipette. Is that how you pronounce that? Pipette. I'm not sure how you call these, but I love this thing for measured. And we're talking like, yeah, I know you were saying it's hot, but to me this is not hot at all. This is very well blended all out of the gate dram. I'm thinking like that much. Is that a little too much? Probably. Let's take a little of that out. I'm thinking maybe that much, just a little bitty, because I don't really have a whole lot in the glass anyway left. I could pour a little more of the sample, but I do want to enjoy it even more. Thanks again, Paul, for this. Hi, Miss Jaw. I want to have another drive-by on this and see what we get out of it. Let's see if any more other notes come to the forefront. Just see if I'm getting. I don't think any of my buddies have recently reviewed this one. I don't see anything. I think Prane's got a review of it. It's probably old. And when he talks about a dram, he doesn't really get into the notes. He'll talk about comparisons with other things. But let's see if we let it sit for a bit and see if we get something else out. What are you guys drinking tonight? Just curious. I wish I could follow the comments in real time like I did last time. I have to figure out what I did wrong. Use tap water to get chlorine and fluoride. Yeah, I don't know. I don't do that, man. It's all distilled. It's all distilled. Um, Room temperature distilled. No metal, no nothing. Glenfarclas 12. I need to try that because this is really, actually, I do like this a lot, be honest with you. I liked it more than I thought I would. I might just have been lucky to get a better bottle, like they were saying. And I agree with the Scotch for Dummies. Sometimes the good example of this is that also that Tamdu batch number 2. I'm not sure about the batch number 1, but batch number 2, there are people like myself that absolutely loved it, and I've known people that did not like it at all. They thought we were crazy for liking it. But there is a handful of us that are have we've reviewed over 150 different drams, so we're maybe not veterans as far as length of years, but we've gone through a lot of whiskey to know what's good, what's not, and why, and all that. And the batch two was great on our bottles, our offerings. There are some batches out there that are really inconsistent, and that it's just aren't the same batch twos, even though they're labeled batch two. It's not the same batch two. So I think a lot of that does happen with some of these bottles. Like I've heard of some people, like I thankfully have never had a bad bottle of Ardbeg Ugadal, for example. I have heard of other people having a bad bottle of the Ugadal and blaming it on like recent compared to the old stuff, the recent bottlings. But I think sometimes especially when this is a family, Glenfarclas is a family thing, so it's a craft, and everyone, I'll credit him with saying that, when you're doing a craft like this, sometimes it works the way you want it to, and sometimes it might not, and that might be one of those things that they capture, and you pray that you get the captured good stuff, and sometimes not so much. The water made it more grassy. That's weird. The nose I am not liking with the water very much. It brought out more of like a grassy herbal notes to it. 12 in a sherry finish. I think there might be slight. Let me look for you real fast. I can tell you. The good thing, if you ever get a chance, use distiller.com. It's got some uh, notes in there that they have based off of what the types of casks and stuff were. It's ex bourbon and ex sherry, so there are some sherry notes in the cask for the Bunnahabhain 12. There you go. The funny thing is, a lot of people tell me it's not peated, but it is definitely peated. It's only 3 ppm to be exact. They'll even give you the actual ppm sometimes on distiller. It's kind of nice. Um, I also write a lot of reviews there. I've got over 171, I think, at this point. So if you get if you get a chance, if you're not really in the video mood, you just want to see some nice text. I'm like that sometimes. Head on over to distiller.com, look up Telex, Telex, and you'll see a boatload of reviews. And I try to do them after I do the videos sometimes. Sometimes I just do them written on Distiller, depending on how many samples I got to go through. So I love Bunnahabhain though. That's definitely my. It's tough to decide. Second or third favorite distillery next to Ardbeg and Laphroaig are my two favorite. Lagavulin is up there. They just don't have enough variety for me to get really enthusiastic about collecting their brand. The 816 Distillers Edition and 12 cast strength are all great. You can't knock any of them really, but when you want to go for an interesting cask or something else, if it's not there, and the only thing I'd love to get my hands on I don't have is that damn Fischl 18-year-old bottle the Scotch for Dummies had that one time. Oh man, I would kill for that one. I think Tom R had that if I'm not mistaken. Bastards. You bastards. Yeah, Laphroaig is same owner as Bunnahabhain. Deanston, I don't know about Deanston. Interesting. It's coming back now. I'm getting more sweetness now. I let it settle down after the grassy hits of the nose. Now I'm getting more of the fruit that I want. So sometimes a nice thing about whiskey, especially older ones, if you tap it with like a drop of water like I did, and if you're not getting what you want right out of the bat, be patient. The key thing about a lot of these older aged whiskeys I've noticed recently is not just waiting for the dram to air out. It's also really taking your time with it, really, because there's so many more nuances you have to get to. It's going to take you more time, I think, to discern and decipher all of the things that are there to pick out. So really nice fruit on that nose now. that was there before. Let's see if the palate changed. Mmm, very good. That was a big sip. Wow, very well done. Black pepper, white pepper, very nice caramel, chocolate, like those raisin candies, those dark chocolate covered caramels, they're called raisins. Oh my, some nice fruit, strawberries and the raspberries, maybe even little pears, little grapes in there. Good balance. Nice finish. The instant dryness threw me off. Now I'm gonna have to knock it for that, but the finish is actually a pretty good long length, I'd say. I can sit for 150, 160. I think you guys said. I can definitely see myself sitting down and enjoying a nice bottle of that from time to time, and not having any issues, especially with it being 25-year old. And I'm gonna have to give it a good solid out of 5.25 increments. I'm gonna have to give this guy. Yeah, and it's funny. I didn't really get a lot of astringency. I know a lot of people think that the Glenfarclas is kind of a harsher. But see, I think I embrace that. I like sulfuric and tannins, and I like a lot of the extra. If it's well balanced, it's got sweetness, it's got saltiness, it's got sour notes, it's got bitter notes too. If it's well balanced, I appreciate the bitter notes with it. Um, it might be the drying factor. You might have a point there. I'm not sure. It might be causing that dryness that I don't really like, but the water I think does maybe like you're right. I think maybe the drop of water might help with that. I have not yet gone there triple cap. It's on my radar. I tried to get Mark Broda to go there from the Scotch for Dummies. He's been there before. I know at least once or twice. They also are a sister bar for the Scotch Whisky Society. I'd love to go, but I haven't had a chance to yet. They don't really open, I think, till dinner time. And I work in D.C. I live in Severna Park, which is actually closer to Annapolis, Maryland. So it's not easy for me to get back and forth there unless I, drive my truck to the New Carrollton Metro and ride in on the Metro train. But if I knew someone, anyone's going to Jack Rose at any time, if you give me a heads up, I'd love to meet you out there. And I might even get me a little glass of that Ardbeg Edinam Bisht. I know they have it there, and I'm wondering how much they charge for a dram. I'm almost afraid to ask. They'd probably be like, "Sir, that's $100 a dram," and I'd be like, "Sign me up, please." I'll take two. No, I wouldn't pay that much for one. But if it was like 40, maybe. I think the bottle goes for 300 easy, and that's why I'm scared of how much they charge for even like a 1.5, like a two finger pour. If it's probably like freaking 40, $50. So my son and wife live 5 minutes away. Holy shoot! Wow, that would be nice. Yes, if I lived close to that place, I would be one poor son of a bitch. I would be, I would be probably begging for money on the side, and just getting like 20, $30, and then going and getting a really nice dram, and then coming back out and getting 20, $30 coming in for a nice dram. Holy man, that would be awesome. Yeah, I think it's on 18th Street. I know it's up there by it's not that far away. It's just that they don't open until like 5 for dinner, so you kind of have to plan getting out there. 2007 18th Street. That sounds about right. Yeah, we'll have to plan a little gathering out there. Um, I might just pick a date and say I'm gonna go, and if anyone shows up, they do, because it seems like with this kind of hobby, unless someone makes the effort to plan something and do it, no one's going to really follow, until that gets planned and sorted out. So I wish, man. The good news, okay, there's good news and bad news. I got my computer back, and I was hoping that the bastards fixed it. The problem was I was having such a problem with Square Trade. Never, ever, ever go with a Square Trade warranty. You'll be wasting your time and wasting your money. Just giving you a heads up. And I know they do lots of warranties through Amazon. Do not buy a Square Trade warranty. Anyway, I'll never make that mistake again. So after I got my computer back, I noticed they didn't fix a damn thing, and they left all the computer, they left the keyboard unhooked. The touchpad was unhooked. My lights underneath the keyboard were unhooked, and nothing was working. So I got it, and I gave it to a local company called DSR, and they're fixing it. They just let me know today that they ordered the keyboard replacement, and they should have it installed maybe even as quickly as tomorrow, would be amazing because they just got it. Like, I gave it to them last Friday or Sunday. I think it was Friday or Saturday, one of the 2 days last just this week. So if they get the part, get it fixed, and they tell me, Jason, tomorrow you can go out and pick it up, I'll be like, I'm there. So that would be awesome. While we're talking. I already poured this. This is the Bowmore 18. We're going to talk about this one next. But throttle, I will get with you as soon as I get that sucker back. This one is just not good enough with the sound issues on it. But as soon as I get my really good laptop, it's got a GX 180, a GTX 1080 graphics card in it. It's just badass. So once I get that back, it's going to be a hell lot better to do a show. Um, we'll definitely set up do like a dry run. I'm gonna. I didn't want to say much about it, but I know there's this big whiskey world day Saturday that there's lots of people doing a bunch of shows. And I didn't even know about it till recently, so I figured, well, even if I'm not invited, I can maybe get maybe a show in around it. So maybe I can get some more people into trying out some drams with me, listening to some commentary, critiques, and stuff. So I'm gonna try to do it before they start 4 o'clock Eastern. I'm gonna do mine at 3 o'clock Eastern, and see how that goes. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. So before Aquavite or whoever is running the show there goes on at 4, I think is their starting point. I'll kill it like right before 4, and that way people can slide on over. So see if you can come on as a guest. If they offer, I'm not the type of person that I don't want to knock on doors and stuff. I figure if someone wants me to, come on and have a dram with them or chit chat, that they'll do the invite or something. But maybe there's some personality conflict. I don't know. I haven't heard anything negative from any of those guys, so I'm not sure why. You know, but it's probably because I only have like 150 subscribers or whatever. If you count like Twitter and YouTube, uh, been around for about a year, so it might be a pay your dues kind of thing. I don't know, but it's all right. We'll get there. But let's take a look at this Bowmore 18. This is really interesting. It does hold viscosity pretty well already. I like that. Not too runny. Means it's going to be a nice oily mouth coat, hopefully heavy. I'm not too keen on the extra coloring. I'll be honest with you. Um, but does it affect the taste? Probably not much, if at all. But it does. If you're disingenuous about color, what else are you fibbing about? So, oh wow, it's a nice nose. Not as good as the Glenfarclas 25, I will say right off the bat, even though this does. Yeah, I'm going to do a pre-stream. That's what I'm going to do. I've already got it set up for 3 o'clock and see how that goes. Not as good as the Glenfarclas 25, but I appreciate the peat I'm getting off of this. And that's the thing that I love about Isla is, it might not be perfect, but as long as I have a little peat, and especially if I have a little sherry to go with it, in which this one, and I'm not mistaken, ex-bourbon barrels and ex-sherry casks, there you go. This is like a dream come true, if I'm reading this correctly. Yeah, we're all noobs. It's okay. I'm just glad that you got to stop by and hang with me and you know, sip some stuff with me and let me know what you're drinking, what you think of it too. Because I believe it or not, I do go with the comment. If I can't catch the chat, which I can't now, but leave a comment in some videos if you've had that dram and if you had a similar experience or a completely different one. I'd like to capture that and see what you get. Because sometimes I like to go back to something I've already had, re-examine it, and see if I get a different experience out of it. Sometimes it does happen, and sometimes it's for the better, and sometimes it's not as good. Also depends on the bottle. Like Abelard Avena, I had a certain batch. The first batch I ever had, I loved it. It was absolutely adorable. The second batch was kind of a letdown. It wasn't all that great. It was kind of like an Abelard, more like the 18, in which I like the Avena actually better than the 18, but that's just me. Um, Probably because of the strength of the flavor. Then went back to the Abinah for a third time, different batch, and then finally got a better experience out of it. Not as good as that first one, but it was better than the second one. So goes to show, same bottle offering, different batch, three different experiences. So you never really know. Sometimes with that peat, you definitely get some nice citrus with this. I think I'm getting some oranges and some lemons. Maybe some. I'm not a grapefruit fan per se, but I don't mind if it's a subtle grapefruit, and I think I'm getting that. It's probably the orange with the peat, kind of giving me that. Hmm. Maybe some figs. Really juicy. Really. I think it's gonna be well balanced. Oh, neat. By the way, 43%, 18 years. Hey, Swami. Thanks for stopping by. You missed the Glenfarclas 25, Swami. I liked it. I actually spent some time with it, and the instant dryness kind of threw me off. But I learned to respect it and give it a little time. Give it one little drop. I mean, a measly little drop of water, and I think that really turned out to be a hell of a dram. Out of five on a 0.25, I would think I would give it a 4.5. It's tight. It's good. I mean, tight in a good way, not tight in a flavor way. It's that was at my alley. This is the Bowmore 18 coloring. Not so good. Not really into that, but nice nose. It's getting a lot of citrus, getting a lot of peat, of course, smoke. The citrus is what surprises me with this. It's really like profound. And you get some maritime notes in there, and you also get some spiciness. Well, I mean, I think it's a pretty damn good nose, but I'm trying to think about this palate here. Mm. Bit of brine, but not too salty. It's smooth, but it doesn't have. It's funny following this up from the Glenfarclas 25. It's like, yeah, mine. $80. Wow, man, this is going for 120. I think is what I paid for the Boomer 18. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Swami. It's definitely it's got a good start to it, but the nose is the best part. The palate's kind of like a step down, and the finish is even lower. It doesn't have those chocolate notes that I missed from the Glenfarclas 25. It doesn't have the almost like a cashew or nut um, aftertaste. It doesn't have that creaminess that the Glenfarclas 25 had. The peat's nice. I mean, it's got some subtle smokiness to it, which I do like. But even though it's what 6 years, 7 years different, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, yeah, 7 years difference. You wouldn't think it would be that much, but it goes to show. I mean, if you look at a Highland Park 15 versus a Highland Park 18, 3 years makes a hell of a freaking difference. It really does. And the 12 to the 15, I think those 3 years makes a hell of a freaking difference. It's amazing. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised that looking at this that I love Delmore and Macallan. Springbank and Killamont are so bland. Well, I'm surprised you think they're bland. I thought Springbank had some nice, funky leather dunnage warehouse mustiness to it that I cannot ever get enough of Springbank. I like that a lot. Haven't really had any Springbanks that really turned me off. Macallan, the first one I had was at 12, I think basic 12 at a bar, and it was a nice, sweet kind of note, but there wasn't anything with, I was wondering, I was like, I didn't really get much from the Macallan thing at first. Now, you need to try, if you can find a sample of it, Swami, the Macallan Wear Cast Black. I know it's expensive, it's like 350, but it's worth a look. It's damn good. I do have a sample of the regular rare cask over here. I haven't touched yet, but I've heard it's different. It might not be as good, but I tell you what, that rare cask black is decent. The Final 21, the Lee and Paul liked it a lot more than I did. I liked it, but I like the Brook Lottie Black Arts 5. I think even more because I think it had more flavor to it. But the Final 21 does have a nice aged attic kind of mustiness to it, so it's kind of hard to balance those two out. But yeah, I mean Macallan I think is overpriced big time. I'm surprised that anybody would spend $500 on something that's not like pow wow. that'd be but I think the Macallan Rare Cast Black is worth the price if you can find it. It's one of those travel retail exclusives that's kind of a pain, but it's a 5 out of 5 whiskey. It's that damn good, even without the age. Everything else is perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Let's get back to this. Let's give it a little more chance. Maybe a drop of water. You never know. I mean a smidgen. Don't let Lee find out. He's gonna kill us all. Speaking of, I was listening to that album, Metallica's "Kill 'Em All" today. It's just a classic. There's nothing better than getting into some old thrash metal. the Too bad my Caps lost tonight. Did you watch that game, Swami? That was freaking depressing, man. We got to get our stuff together and I mean it's the Lightning for God's sakes. It'd be nice to see them win one after 20 years or however long it's been. It's been, I know, at least that long. I watched these guys from '99 to now, and I've never seen them do as well. So beating Pittsburgh was nice. I tell you that. I hate Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. So there you go. Mm. I'd say the nose is probably the best thing about this Bowmore 18. So thankfully, at least, if you don't like it, this will last you for a while. Uh-oh, I got some French going on there. Is moi aussi. That's one thing I wish I had more than a few years in high school, man. It's been a long time. One thing I remember is La Fenêtre for window. Of all words, window. That's sad. Hmm. The one thing that I think the water does help with is maybe, yeah, that's a nice pour, I guess. It's not super big, though. It's kind of an odd angle. Like if I tilted the phone like level. See, it's not crazy. It's not a it could be up to here. That would be a Jason pour. As for me, I mean it's Jason too. That's why I go by Telex. So there's so many Jasons out there that are born in the '70s. It's insane. But yeah, it's not bad. But the water did help with the. It gave it kind of a it reminds me of the Tomatin Decades. If you ever get a chance to get that, it's definitely worth a pickup. It's extremely rare though now. They have 5 decades of juice that they put in there, going back to the '60s, '70s, '80s, '90s in the oats, and this kind of the finish on this reminds me a little of that because there's like a little bit of basil, a little bit of herbs, kind of starting to taste a little bit like that Doris Moore tin, also known as the Tempest, from Bowmore. Not bad. I think the water does help a little bitty bit on this, and we're talking like a drop. So, finish is still more spicy than I'd say. It's got some spicy smokiness going on still. Not bad, but I wish there was some sweetness that was lingering too. That's the only tough one about this guy here. Hmm. Not a bad, not a bad issue though. Hmm. Comparatively, I do like the Glenfarclas 25 a little bit better. This is growing on me as I drink it, but what wouldn't after having some really nice mouthfuls of this, man. Wow, it's good though. It's not 4.5 good, but it's good. I think I give it a. I think I might give it a 4. I'd love to try. I've heard that they're. Oh, the Bowmore, ppm wise, it's not. It's not one of the heavier ones. It's not as low as a Kalila or a Bunnahabhain for sure, but it's definitely not as bad as a. No, I shouldn't say bad. Not as heavy as a Ardbeg or Lafroig. It's probably close to a Lagavulin. Maybe lower between a Lagavulin and a Kalila. I'm thinking. I'm not sure. I think an Ardbeg is like what is it, 40 something on ppm typically. Um, Trying to think. So we're probably talking like 20 to 30. I'm thinking on this guy. Yeah, Sam Lacasse. I'm glad I got a better experience than what the dummies were finding out of it. I thought it was a pretty damn good, especially for 150, 160, whatever it runs for. I think that's a really good deal for a 25-year-old that tastes like that. I was down with it. I hope that if I do spring for a bottle, which I might consider doing, since I did enjoy that sample, I hope I don't get shafted on a bad, a bad luck bottle that's not as good. I don't know if that exists, but it does make me nervous because I've heard the Tandu batches are like that. So we'll see. Hmm. I do like this better than the Doris Moore 10. That was about 120 as well. I'm thinking because I think I like the sherry notes in this. I do like the strength of the Doris Moore though. So if you had a Doris Moore 10 and you put some sherry with it, that like this has, I think that would be an ideal Bowmore. And I think they have a one called the Devil's Cask or Double the Devil or something like that. I've heard that does really well. So I'd love to give it a try. I've heard it's extremely expensive comparatively though. It's probably like $300, $400. Not really worth the price difference, but 18's affordable. It's enjoyable. I'd still say it's about a 4 tops out of 5. It's nice, but I think, ooh, there's some. That's a nice note I just got at the end of that taste. Some really nice raisins came in, probably from the sherry. really nice sweet like hit. This might actually just do better with time, having a bigger bottle. Since this Glenfarclas 25 is a smaller sample, maybe this Bowmore 18 will get better with some oxidation and just time spent. But that's my initial reaction. The only thing I wish it had that the Glenfarclas has that this doesn't have is that chocolate caramely, more savory after taste finish. So, but we're gonna enjoy this too. I'd say. Mm. What you guys drinking now? Changed or is hitting the same thing? Tomar says the 20. Santa says Tomar the 25 is solid for money. Yeah, I think it is. If you're talking about the Glenfarclas, I'm not sure which one you're talking about there, Santa. I missed the first part, probably the comments there. Tomar to Swami, what hotel are you staying? I thought you said the one in the park. Oh, you coming to Chicago there, Swami? Haven't been there in a while. I'd love to go back to Chicago sometime. It's a fun place to visit. Tormore 13, Gordon McPhail cast really gets white with water. Interesting. That's strange. Yeah, I wasn't. I had a Tormore 21 berries. I was not into it. Let me know if you've ever had a good Tormore that you really liked a lot, and I might give it another try. Wasn't really into that one, so I'm not sure if I'll give it another chance or not. Maybe if you guys let me know if there's a specific independent bottling that's worth a look. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get me that Glenfarclas 25 bottle. I have a feeling. I think they have a 30. The 40 is probably crazy expensive. I wonder how much the 30 is. If it's like 250, it might be worth a try. I don't know. Anyone had the 30 or a different year? Let me see if Rosalure's single malt French whiskey. Wow, you're bringing out the obscure stuff there, Swami. But my 18 is good with dark chocolate. Yeah, I could see that. I think that's the thing. Yeah, if you, it's definitely got some liqueur, like some dark black cherry notes in the finish with it, that are coming through now, like in more raisins. I think if I had like a little stick of dark chocolate, man, that would really go well together. You got a good point. More 50 is $30,000. That is insane. That is insane. Oh man, I don't care how good it is. 50 grand. It's a house for some people. Let's go to Glenfarclas. I want to see. Sorry about the ringtone there. Yeah, is that Canadian? That makes it a little bit of a difference there. Glenfarclas. Let's see. Oh, there is a 40. 40 and 18. Let's see something here. I've heard about their 17. That's a rare one. Everyone's had that. Let's see. Glenfarclas has a 50. Jeez, man. All right, so 25, and then what's the next one after that? Is it 30? Yeah, 30. It's sherry cask, 43%. It's just 5 years older than what we just had. I wonder if it's any different. Let me get this message off my screen there. Anyone had the Glenfarclas 30 by chance? I wonder how much that goes for. Might be worth a little look. Let's see. Let's do Wine Searcher is a good place to go. Wine-searcher.com. And you can just type in Glenfarclas. We'll say 30. And it's already set up to search the world. You can actually fine tune it just to search the United States if you want to. Oh, that can't be right. Oh, that's a sample. I saw $35. I was like, you got to be kidding me. That's a Glenfarclas 30 sample though, 3 centiliters. So there you go. Let's see, Master Malt. 352, and that's euros in Italy. Jesus. 437 at Master Malt. Holy moly, man. That's quite a jump from like one something for the 25 to $430. that's not even counting shipping and all the extra crap. That's just insane. How in the world do you justify charging someone 200, 300, 400, we'll say, um, maybe a little less than 300, we'll say 250. How do you judge 5 years for $250 for a scotch? I'm sorry, but I just don't see it. And Glendronach does the same damn thing with their 21 to their 24. There's like a Kingsman, I think it's called. Um, they got a Kingsman 24, I think it is. And that sucker is like crazy expensive. And the Parliament's already freaking high. So you go from 21 to that, I think it's like a $300 difference. I'm like, that is just insane for like 3 or 4 years. Unless it's got like a hell of a rare cask, I just don't see that happening. So that's kind of depressing. I mean, unless it's a rare bottle or something, but it's all over Europe. I don't see any in the United States. Oh, I see one for $1,000 with older presentation and older label in Beverly Hills for $1,000, but that's like some sort of old version bottle. But um, nothing United. Maybe it's like a UK thing only. Let's see if the 40 is even more than that. It's gotta be, you would think. I'm just curious. Let's take one quick look here. Sample goes for about $50 for a 3 centiliter. Wow, 756 to 889 in New York. So it's under $1,000 for a 40 year. That actually isn't that bad comparatively to like a Lagavulin 21. It goes for like 1,000, I think. So there you go. That's insane. But I don't know, man. If you can get the 25 for like 160, I think it is. Let me make sure that's even right, because I might just have bad information. But I'm pretty sure I've seen it as low as one something. Yeah, it's 131 in Spain. The 25 is 133 in Missouri. There you go. Shoot. For 130 and get a 25, but the 30 year is like $400. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't think I'll get that unless it's some sort of super rare cask or something. Oh well. Well, sorry to go on tangents, guys. I do have to work tomorrow. Unfortunately, we're gonna bring her to a close here. I've got to unfortunately get up early and talk to Sweden about getting some servers fixed. I've already dealt with people in America and they couldn't fix my servers, so we're gonna have to go to Sweden tomorrow morning. And I'm like, I hate dealing with crazy time zone differences, and I'm not a morning person. And the first invite they sent was 5 a.m. and I just kind of was like, ha. I'm not even. I'm comatose until like freaking 9. So I don't think that's gonna happen, but we'll see. Get up, get some coffee, and see how it goes. Thanks for stopping by, Swami. Good to see you as always, man. Santa, Richie Z, Tom R, the boys, and I'm sure we'll do it again soon. Saturday, I think's the big day. I'm surprised the Scotch for Dummies didn't talk about whiskey on Saturday. I think they're part of the show. Maybe they didn't want to advertise it for some reason, or I'm not sure. Isn't it the 19th? If I'm not mistaken, I think that's when the next the big all day show is. Yeah. Well, I'll be here at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna do a little fun hour before Aquavite. I think's the first guy, and he does his start I think at 4 Eastern. So um, it'll be a good segue. I think we'll see how it goes. And I'll definitely will stop shop before he goes on. I'll even do it 10 minutes beforehand to make sure I do not. And check out Swami at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be there. I'm gonna do like I did for the Scotch, the test dummies, 12 hours of boom. I'm probably gonna sit for the whole thing and watch everybody. I just have to make sure I have lots and lots of this. So You have plenty of hydration, you'll be all right. Slanchava, guys. Thanks for stopping by.